Hey, my name is Ria Waller, and you're enrolled in CIT82 Introduction to Web Development at Fresno City College in the 9-week mode, online 100%. So I'm glad you're here. I know that you have choices in what classes that you take. For some of you, this is your beginning class to the major of being in web development. For some of you, this is a class that you found interesting for whatever reason. Now, it makes sense in the world that we live in that when you think about how many times a day you need something from the web, from the internet, which, by the way, those are not the same. So one of the things that if you don't already know, you'll learn in this class pretty quickly, actually, is what's the difference. We are going to work, of course, on helping you understand the world of web development first, and then also give you some experience to help you actually gain some of the skill. Now, this is obviously a skill. I shouldn't say obviously. This is a skill that can take varying classes and experience, and it requires a certain amount of self-startingness. Very important for this career path. So hopefully that matches what you're looking for. This may give you a chance to try that out and see how that works. But what I'm going to do in this particular video is I'm going to go over now the class, the way it's set up, just give you a general overview and give you that all important what's required for this class, which, by the way, and when we say required, that generally means textbook. So let me just give you the good news to start. There are no textbooks required for this class. There's a lot of content out on the web. I curate, and if you haven't heard that term, is I am always looking for new content. As a matter of fact, in this particular semester that you're taking this class, I have not reorganized, but I've found a lot of new content, mostly because it's just a great time to be in this field. There's a lot of people producing content. So then what'll happen is I'll say, okay, maybe go watch this video and do this related to it. Then I will give you additional instruction for what you need to do around the concepts of those videos. But that's going a little further than we need to. What I want to do is two things. First, before we actually get into that, I found an article today, and I think it's really important. And this is looking at, what are some of the fastest growing careers, and software developers and nurses. Okay. And that kind of makes sense when you think, again, reflecting back on our current world, right? So what kind of professions do we need? And you might think, well, I'm not going to be a software developer. This could be true. But even if you aren't, right, going to be in software development, maybe you're saying, well, I'm going to be a web developer, or I just want to understand the web. Well, think about what kinds of software are we really using today, right? Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, right? And you think about your app, your gaming apps, right? So again, think about the apps that's important to you. Most of the time, like a lot of the time, that's on the web. So anymore, if you're going to develop software, you need to understand how that software works on the web, or because the web is a platform, and being able to develop for that platform is really important. So anyway, you can, if you want the link to this article, let me know. I went through and looked at it because I was kind of curious where software came into place. It starts with the lowest growing, which is still at position 30, information security analyst, of course, and then nurses, and then computer support specialist, and even this profession, right? Think about this. Maybe you're not somebody that's going to develop things, but you're somebody that's going to support other people. Having a good understanding of the web will help. Okay. So I'm not going to go through that whole thing, mostly because maybe that's something we'll talk about as we move into the class. So what I'm going to do here is I have the syllabus open on one tab, and I have the course in another. And we'll look just briefly at the syllabus, and then we'll come back and talk about how you get started. So the syllabus is a really, it's one of those things we tell students, please look at, because we want you to understand how to contact us, right? What our office hours are. And because of the semester that we're all of my office hours will be on the web. And I've given you a link to those and you can check that out. I've done them at various times of the day. So you can see that this course description, we cover a lot of different topics, okay? And hopefully that's exciting for you, that we're going to go over those as well. There are no textbooks required, yay. You do want to do attendance. Here are some of the important drop information. Please check. Again, you should be looking at your syllabus for this particular class. Here are some holidays. This could be done in a future semester and yours will vary. So here's the part before I move back and start actually showing you the class. So there's 4 components to this class. There's lectures, there's a project that will be due at the end, there's hands-on and current topics. Each of them is worth 25%. Therefore, depending on the number of items for that category, each will have, in this case, you can see at least 3 of them account for about 1.66% of your overall grade. Now, what this means is you'll see things in Canvas that'll say 100 points, but what you really want to understand is just that percentage. And then you will have a project due at the very end. And this is where we're going to take these skills that you're getting and have you create a site at the end. Really important information. Check this out as well. But here's the thing I wanted to show you is because this is a 9-week class, I've given you a due date for your final project and it's listed here. Okay, so now I'm going to shut that out. You can look at this. I do recommend looking at this in more detail. So now that you're here, one of the things you're going to notice right away about my class when you come in, and I'm actually viewing this course in what's called a student view. So you won't see this banner at the bottom, but I do, because as an instructor, when I see it as a student, they want me to know that. But what I want you to know is I will be releasing this course. And when I say releasing, I mean publishing, and then sending you just a brief email saying you can get started if you want. And what you will notice is that it shows up, and this is week 0 that I'm talking about. You can see there are 2 items in this week. You can see that there's one that requires submission and one that just requires view. Now you might wonder, well, how do you know that? Well, this is one of the things I want you to get used to, right? And what this says is, and look at this, week 1 is locked until you finish, in this case, submitting this and just viewing this, okay? And this is what you're going to see in my course, is that you have to work through this class in sequence, right? You can't work on anything until you do the previous week's work, right? So I just want you to know that. Now I'm going to click into the first started here, and you're already here. This is how you got here, right? And we've talked about the class. We've talked a little bit about the timeline. As a matter of fact, that's one thing I didn't go over quite a bit. I did show you that because it's a 9-week course, where the projects go, but every week, and you'll start seeing this in this week in week 0. Well, okay, it depends on when you came, right? But in this case, when you get into week 1, you will see that there are 2 due dates a week. This is what weekly items mean. I'm talking right now about how the course is set up. So if you want to get started before the start of the semester, you can totally do that. But if you see this at the start of the semester, that's okay too. So what you need to do for the very first thing is actually, besides watching this video, is you need to set up a user account on a free site called GitHub. Now I'm going to go ahead and click into here, and I think I might already be logged in, so I'll just log out for a minute. So what you will need to do is go ahead and sign up for GitHub, and you will create a username, You'll give it an email and a password. By the way, if you do see something there that asks, for some kind of paid account, I think they may have taken this off, but in the past I've had students do that. Then you're going to, this is a completely free system. You should be fine. Will not have to give any money. This is a website called GitHub that we are going to code. For the first couple of weeks, you're actually going to code out on GitHub, and then starting in week 3, I'll teach you how to code locally so that you can push your code. And when I say code in this class, that could mean watching a video and taking notes. It could be sharing an image. Ultimately, it's going to be writing some HTML. So what you will do is sign up and give me your username, right? This name right here. But let me just show you what it looks like. I'll sign up with my account. So Rhea Waller is my username, okay? And so this is what you need to supply to me once you've created that account. Now, if you already have a GitHub by chance, you can use that. You don't have to create a new one, no problem. So what you want to do, as an example here, and as soon as you hit that red submit button, then you get the option to either, and notice this, there's a comment and there's a place to paste. You can do it in either place. And so that would be an example of a GitHub username that I have just shown you the format of it. You've gotten that from setting your GitHub up, again, a free account. And so what I'm going to do is once you submit this, then I am going to see that you submitted. And again, this is the benefit, if you want, of working ahead. Then I will go ahead and set you up on our GitHub course organization. And you might go, what is that? It's just a place out on GitHub where as teachers, you can, matter of fact, this is what you'll end up doing. On the next part, as a matter of fact, I'll walk you through this starting in week 1. Is I'll invite you into the CIT82 GitHub organization, and then you will accept that invite. Okay, but again, I'll walk you through that. So now that you've done this, I want to take you back, just simulate the idea, because we could go to next. That'd be fine. Let's go ahead and do that. So I use Discord. This is something new I'm starting this semester. There's a video for how to set this up and how to connect. It's not required. It's just suggested so that you can get help from not just me, but your fellow classmates. So now that we've gone through, so let me show you this. Now that we've gone through the first week 0, start here, and we've submitted this and viewed this. Notice how now week 1 is now open. So now we can start looking at what is required for this. Okay. And what you can see here is that, and this is attendance is something that I won't do until we get closer to the start of the semester. As a matter of fact, right now, there's just some content in here telling you about attendance. This is a lecture and so on. But I just want you to know, how this course works, how it's set up, so that you get, you're not wondering, like, what do I do next, right? So the idea is that in order for you to work through the course, you have to start in the start here. That's why I named it that. Hopefully it makes sense, right? It's one of those things as instructors, we do things that, that should be clear, but sometimes as a matter of fact, when we change things, so as an example, this course is a change that I've done over this summer. I used to have the course flowed and structured in a little different way, but I've decided to change that, hopefully to make this student experience better. But again, I hope to hear from you if that is the case as we move through the course content. So the last thing I'll leave you with is that each week there's 2 due dates. There's a Monday night and there's a Thursday night due date. And then if there's a holiday, I move whichever Thursday or Monday due date to the next day. We do have hands-on current topics in a lecture. Those 3 items due. Again, this is a 9-week, 3-unit class, right? So you need to stay focused. That's an important part of this class. If you get behind, get caught up, I do allow you to submit late work. It is discounted 25%. But what will happen is that we will then, starting about halfway through the course, we will start helping you work on building a class project website. And we're going to do that in a technology called Bootstrap. And I'll talk more about that as we move through it. But that's what will be, again, 25% of your grade is actually you doing something, because I find I learn best if I'm doing something. Anyway, enough from me. Glad you're here. Talk to you later.